We want to build God a house, and it's not just for our members. It's for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Well, tonight, step into the realm of faith. Keep on thinking, keep on visualizing, keep on believing, and keep on speaking out the promises of God for your life. Be a people of faith. God is raising us up to people that can do the impossible, but that requires sacrifice.
And Lord, we ask you for a land in the marketplace, in the downtown area. Father, in Jesus' name, give us a place that seats 15,000 people.
God, as you give us our building, God, we'll see growth in the tens of thousands.
Father, Lord, that everything that we touch will prosper in your name.
Back home, the probe into individuals and companies linked to City Harvest Church has again raised eyebrows about the charity sector. Stakeholders we spoke to stressed that accountability must be a priority.
City Harvest Church founder Pastor Kong Hee is among 17 people called in for investigations. His Facebook, which has 30,000 names, was filled with words of support, along with a few unkind comments. Online forums were also abuzz, with many hungry for details.
Now, all those involved in the interviews with police on Monday are said to have left the Commercial Affairs Department. Nothing more has been revealed except that investigations arose from complaints made to the Commissioner of Charities on the misuse of church funds. Now, in response to queries, police said it's still not appropriate to comment any further as investigations are still on.
It is the longest-running television ministry in history, The Hour of Power, broadcast from the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, California. And of millions of viewers, this Sunday program became known for the charismatic preaching of Dr. Robert H. Schuller and for the lavish holiday productions they put on. So how, then, did America's original megachurch come to find itself $50 million in debt? David Wright reports for our series, Faith Matters.
At the Crystal Cathedral in Garden Grove, California, the theme of worship yesterday was indebtedness.
Our ministry needs your prayers.
This was the first Sunday service since the church filed for bankruptcy, so the founder's message to his flock had special poignancy.
Never look at what you have lost. Never look at what you have left.
Over the past 50 years, Dr. Robert H. Schuller built this place from what was once a drive-in movie theater into America's original megachurch, complete with a weekly Sunday broadcast.
Join us for America's television church, The Hour of Power.
The Hour of Power, the first and longest-running television ministry in history. The glory of Christmas and Easter pageants always featured live camels and donkeys.
I mean, you're fond of this place.
Oh, my God, I love the place. It was so inspiring. You walk on that campus and you're just exhilarated beyond description the way it was. Now you walk on and you just feel heartbroken, just literally heartbroken.
The church is now more than $50 million in debt. Among the creditors left hanging, Christina Oliver.
So who's this?
This is Pistol.
Her family has provided the animals for the Christmas pageant for more than 30 years.
I gather they haven't been paying their bills.
Correct.
To the tune of, for you?
$57,000.
There you, $57,000.
Yes.
The Olivers lost their house after the church didn't pay up last Christmas. So this year, for the first time since Pistol's grandfather first appeared at the Crystal Cathedral, these animals won't be taking part in the annual pageant.
It's upsetting that a family representing the Lord is mismanaging funds and not stepping up to the plate.
The official explanation for the bankruptcy is that the bad economy has taken its toll on the church's support base.
Never before in the history of this country have so many churches been in bankruptcy. We face financial challenges too.
But insiders, including Dr. Schuller's son, Robert A. Schuller, tell a different story.
I think if I was still the leader there, it would be a different story today.
Robert A. had been groomed for years to succeed his father, but his tenure as senior pastor lasted barely 2 years until his sisters and brothers-in-law forced him out.
Doesn't sound like it was a happy parting of the ways.
Yeah, not really, no.
Robert A.'s daughter is even more blunt.
When you mix faith, family, and fame, it's a toxic combination. And people start vying for positions of power. And I think that's what led to the Crystal Cathedral crumbling.
His daughter Angie has a website called spiritualwellness.com that helps victims of spiritual abuse.
Have you been hurt by a priest, pastor, or spiritual mentor?
A theme that, at least in these promotional videos, seems to hit close to home.
If you no longer feel safe in church, it's probably because someone tried to manipulate and control your experience with God. I launched spiritualwellness.com because we were able to move through the anger, through the sadness, and accept what is. Sometimes faith is letting go.
The Schullers who are still holding on at Crystal Cathedral include Angie's aunt, Sheila Schuller-Coleman, Robert H.'s daughter. As senior pastor, it fell to her to break the news of the bankruptcy. From the pulpit yesterday, she made it sound like she's simply channeling God's will.
The press conference was set for 3 o'clock. And at 5 minutes to 3, the Lord whispered in my ear. He said, "Dear daughter, don't you get it? I have given you all this free airtime so you can go give my message of hope."
For his part, Robert A. Schuller can envision a day when Crystal Cathedral may not have a Schuller at the helm.
Nothing lasts forever. And there's a season for everything under heaven, as it says in Ecclesiastes. A time to be born and a time to die.
Well, it looked like a giant yard sale, but the items filling a southeast Atlanta parking lot belonged to a church.
A church that didn't pay its mortgage and was evicted. Now the congregation is looking to a higher power to step in. As quickly as movers took church possessions out of the sanctuary, members of Greater Works Assembly packed up what they could as quickly as they could under the watchful eye of Fulton County Marshals. Everything that was inside now rests outside, peppering the church parking lot. The choir's organ, chairs instead of pews, even the pastor's pulpit.
Our church has been a vital force in this community for some 10 years. We feed monthly over 700 people every month.
Reverend Darrell Winston, pastor of Greater Works Assembly, says the bank could have been more forgiving. The church evicted after failing to pay its mortgage. The bank foreclosed and a court approved the eviction. But Greater Works Assembly is still holding out hope that their salvation will come from a higher court.
We're asking the higher court to just make the lower court stop these actions until they can look into it and make sure that everything was done properly.
Needless to say, all of our efforts have been stonewalled by indifferent, insensitive, greedy bankers who, for lack of a better word, think that they can get more from this property than the property is worth.
The bank tells a different story. Fox 5 talked with the vice president of Ridgestone Bank in Illinois, and according to Andy Waters, the bank let the church stay there for 2 years rent-free. But the property owner could not survive bankruptcy. Plans are already in the works to put a nonprofit into the building that will serve the community.